Oh, girl, please. I'm drinking box wine. I'm not even playing. Box wine is great nowadays.
Nah, these people over here drinking Hennessy and Ciroc. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm Honey German. My parents are Dominican. I was born and raised in New York City. I love sneakers, and I'm a body positive advocate.
I'm Carolina Bermudez. Soy nicaragüense, but I was born and raised in Ohio. I'm a wife, a mama, and a worker bee. This is Life in Spanglish.
Oh, man.
People are out of control, and we need to talk about it.
It's the holiday season. It makes you so crazy, I feel.
It's the holiday season, and are you that person? We're going to tell you right now.
Are you that person that does rude stuff when you go to people's houses?
Well, you know what? I feel like I'm on my best behavior. By the way, hi, honey.
Hello, Carolina.
Like, how you doing? I am so stressed out.
I know.
I have to leave in 2 days. I'm taking my sons by myself to Florida. Don't have one thing packed.
They better be well behaved.
Oh my gosh. I said I'm going to spend the whole
scared for
time
them.
wearing my mom's kimono. You know, like.
Have you ever traveled like in pajamas or like some weird stuff like that? Or are you the person that gets super dressed up to travel?
I cannot get down with wearing PJs at the airport.
I see it all the time.
I wish I could be that person.
Me too. I really wish I could be that person, but I do wear workout clothes when I travel.
Oh yeah, no, leggings are cool.
Yeah, sneakers.
A nice little legging, you know, because you never know when they're going to upgrade you.
For real.
You know, like Beyonce. So
you'd be all in first class in a Snuggie suit.
And I'll leave my kids in the back. Don't try me. No, I'm kidding. I would never.
I would if I had some.
No way. So yeah, we're getting ready for the holidays. You have a giant
I'm hosting my family this year. Again, last year I hosted. This year I'm hosting. You know, my older sister, she usually hosts, but she had some type of inconvenience, and she's like, "Do you mind doing it at your house?"
Okay.
And it's not a problem, but I decided that I'm not going to cook. I decided that, you know, I go to the supermarket, I spend like $200-$300 worth of stuff.
Right.
I have to cook it for like 8-9 hours. And then I look like crap when people come over. I'm sweating, my hair is frizzy, my makeup melted. So I decided I'm going to cater.
Okay.
Big shout out to Chef Ashley. So she's going to be doing all the food.
You're not going to
I'm
make
gonna do the
one
bird.
plate.
I'm going to do the bird.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
And I'm going to buy, you know, the liquor and everything else, cranberry juice, everything we need for the mixers and stuff like that.
You're hosting the party.
But I decided I don't want to cook. And I feel like maybe some of my family members feel away. Like Thanksgiving is for cooking.
Well, I'm sorry. I hate to piss off the Germans, but that's rude. You are showing up. Are they bringing anything?
Yeah, they're gonna like my one sister's gonna bring desserts and like wine, stuff like that. But I
take it back then.
I'm not asking them to like do
kidding.
full blown meal. I just really want to be able to enjoy the holidays without the hustle and bustle of like cooking and
I don't blame you.
oven going. I'm a hot person. Like I'm always sweating, and it's like you'll put on a nice shirt. All of a sudden they're like, "Oh, te manchaste la camisa," and you're like, "No, that's just boob sweat."
Yeah, that's just my
not
my
stained.
humidititties.
Exactly.
It's like,
so I don't want to do that this year. I want to take pictures with my family. I want to relax,
Yeah.
you know, and I just want to talk to people. I feel like I never really enjoy the holidays because I'm in the oven or I'm washing dishes because there's 700 calderos on the side.
Do you have anybody coming to like help you with the cleanup? I think that is the most crucial, important part of like hosting is having somebody there so that you're not washing dishes while everybody's like relaxing watching the football game.
My older sister washes dishes from the moment she walks in to the moment she leaves.
Oh, bless her heart.
She is that person.
She's a good one.
And she'll come in like Valentino everything,
Okay.
Chanel this, and then she'll be at the sink with the palmolive. Just, I'm like, if you don't get away from that sink, I'm going to hurt you.
I love people like that. I like
She's
people
amazing.
who get in the mix.
No, she's really amazing. She's one of the best house guests ever. I will find her in like my linen closet refolding stuff. I'm like, God bless your soul.
Does she want to come over to my house? Because we could use some organizing.
She's amazing for that.
Well, I want to talk about the rude people because I have encountered some rude people in my home. And these are like, it's just a heads up. Don't be that person. I want you to make yourself at home. I don't want you to make yourself like so at home.
What is the rudest thing someone's done when they've been at your house?
I cannot. I really do. I have like a certain thing. My floors are impeccable. Like you could eat off my floors. You don't wear your shoes in my house. Nobody wears shoes in my house. I always have slippers or like, you know.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You do
Okay.
not wear shoes. For me, it's more of the fact that I have two littles.
Do you have like 300 shoes by the door? I hate that house.
No.
Oh,
the
okay,
closet.
good.
No, they're in the closet.
Some people have that rule, and then you go to their house, there's like
No.
700 pairs of shoes by the door. I'm like, put them away.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
So continue.
The rudest thing that I think you can do is if you're todo descalzo, you don't have any socks on, and you're putting your feet up on my furniture. Dude, get your feet off my furniture. That is so rude. Is that not? Look at your face.
I hate feet, period.
I hate feet. But it's like, I have no problem if you have like your socks on and you want to put your foot up like next to the coffee table. Like, you're casual. You're feeling it. You're comfortable.
Yeah, once your shoes are off, you kind of like feel like, oh, okay, I'm home. I could do whatever I want, but don't put your feet on the furniture. Definitely not.
But when you got your nasty, grubby Barney Rubble feet, not
feet.
even manicured, you need baby foot. You know what I'm saying? Like these like nasty.
You need that pumice stone to go to work.
And then you're going to put your feet up. It's like, I want you to make yourself at home. I don't want you to make yourself so at home.
Oh, my God.
Where you put it, you know what I'm saying?
I
Where
know what
I
you're
can
saying.
see that you haven't had a pedicure in ages.
Nah.
So that's where I'm
that.
going with
I'll
this.
be like, I have that grater for the feet in the bathroom. If
Don't
you want
make
to put
me
your
break
feet
out
in
the
the
ped
tub.
egg. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, exactly.
Is that not rude, though?
Nah, it is rude. And it's kind of disgusting. It just, some people just don't have home training to the full extent that you could have received it.
Or you put your feet next to my pillows. But I don't care if they're
Your
my throw
pillows?
pillows. Yes,
No, don't
the
do that.
horror. It's like I put my head
I lay on
that.
those when I lay on the
That
couch.
is nasty.
Yeah, people are crazy when they come over. It hasn't been about being dirty or being nasty in that way that people have done rude stuff in my house.
Yeah.
It's been about guests approaching other guests inappropriately.
Oh, do you have to be like the referee?
Yeah, I'm like, I always had a lot of girlfriends. My husband always had a lot of guy friends, and we would always want to bring them together. And then when everybody would get to drinking, somebody will come like, oh my God, such and such try to kiss me by the bathroom. I'm like, you better get your friend in order. We always fought about that.
Really?
Yes, my husband had a couple of friends that once they would drink, they would go from like person to person trying to like hook up with somebody. I'm like, this is rude. They're out of control, and you got to
Right.
get out of my house.
Well, it's also just like, you know what? As a friend, your friend's guard is down because they're in their friend's home.
Yeah,
So
no.
they're thinking like they're just chilling, and then here comes, a guy pressing up on you.
By
and
the
you're not-
bathroom.
yeah, and you're not even looking for it. That
You're like,
is
who is-
crazy.
It's happened.
Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes people tell me at the moment, or sometimes people tell me after, like, oh, listen, I left because such and such was drinking too much, and they were like really coming on to me too hard.
But then it's like, what do you do? Do you want to know in the moment, and then that like ruins everything, or do you want to know after the fact, and then you say like, oh my gosh, you should have told me. I would have said something.
I'd rather people tell me right then and there because
Yeah.
I have no problem kicking somebody out, especially if you're drunk and you're out here trying to press on people.
You
got to get
never
out
kicked
of my house.
You have kicked somebody out of your house?
My husband has.
Okay, I don't have the nerve to do it. I will talk about you until like the end of time.
But I won't have a
Never
problem. Like
kick-
if there's any type of like weird male-female energy happening and somebody feels uncomfortable,
well, that absolutely.
I will be like, I need you to leave my house and we'll talk on a different day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think our friends are that interesting. I mean, no offense to our friends. I mean, I don't think that they would even.
Our
like,
friends just used to be really wild, though. And
Yeah.
everybody was single. Everybody was attractive, and
Our
there was a
friends
lot of alcohol.
Yes. I mean, a lot of alcohol is consumed, but I don't know. I guess, you know what? I mean, maybe not even that they're not that interesting. Maybe shout outs to my friends for being on their best behavior.
Exactly.
you
And
know?
only drinking 2 glasses of wine, not a whole bottle of Ciroc.
Oh, girl, please. I'm drinking box wine. I'm not even playing. Box wine is great now.
Nah, these people over here drinking Hennessy and
not
Ciroc.
playing it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hilarious about the Hennessy. Remember when I told you I've never had it? Do
Oh,
you think
yeah.
I'm going to be crazy if I ever drink Hennessy?
I think we should like introduce you to Hennessy in the privacy of your own home.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Hennessy's amazing, but I don't know. Well, you could have one. The Hennessy Mule is amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really, really good. And there's levels to the Hennessy's. Like you start here and then, you have like the mother of all Hennessy's, which is very smooth. And that's where we're going to introduce you at.
But is it one of those things where like the next day I won't know my name? I'm going to need a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like, am I going to like
Again,
really?
it depends how much
Okay.
Hennessy you consume.
All right, we'll see if I'm really about it. But yeah, back to like the rude guests and things. Like that's the thing. We feel like it's a public service announcement. You're going to be going to somebody's house. You might even be stopping by, whatever it is. Just check yourself.
You know what's really rude? When people bring a bottle
Mm-hmm.
and we don't drink it and they take it home.
No. What are you even talking? I feel
I've
like it's
seen
rude.
that.
Do you want to know what I think is rude? I'm gonna tell me if you agree. Somebody brings a bottle and then they demand that you open it while they're there.
100%. I've
I
seen
feel
that.
like that is so crazy.
And
It's
then
like,
they drink the whole thing while they're there.
exactly. It's like, well, you know what? I got this while I was in Napa. Oh my gosh, well, this is wonderful. Like maybe I don't feel like drinking red
Maybe
tonight.
I want to drink this alone later.
Exactly.
With some
No,
cheese.
I've had people say, no, you have to open it. And then they proceed to drink the entire. I'm like,
Me
well,
too.
then why did you bring it?
Me too.
That is so rude. Other thing, please don't lick your fingers at my table. I know the food is good, but when you're
I only do that if I eat Cheetos or something like that.
Honey, you cannot.
Just Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Those fingers can't go to waste, Carolina.
So nasty. If you have Cool Ranch fingers, I might let it slide.
Exactly. You
but see, I just
Nah, that's wild. At the table?
at the table.
Don't pick your teeth at the table. I hate that.
Oh.
People pull out toothpicks and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you doing right now? Like,
Didn't-
unless you're over 80, don't do that.
Okay, so my dad is hitting 75,
He
and
can do whatever he wants.
the other day when they were at my house, he's going,
Oh my God.
and I looked at him and I was like, "Do you need floss?"
The sucking of the teeth.
Do you need floss? And he was like, "What? What?" He doesn't even
They don't
know
even know.
he's doing it. So then I'm like, you know what? I can't fault him because he's like, not really actively trying to be disgusting.
Yeah.
But then I have to I'm like, Daddy, don't do that. I'm like, that is so gross. What? Yo no puedo venir a esta casa, pues. And I'm like, no, I'm not telling you can never come back. It's just like, check yourself. Like, you're at the table right now. So then after he left, you know what Noah started doing?
Same thing.
And I was like, no, Noah, we can't even begin with that right
You're
now.
not picking that up after your grandfather.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you have to recognize it. You're basically on stage. You're on display. It's the holiday season.
You are. I can sometimes be rude, and my sisters will check me.
By what you say or what you...
By the way I behave. Sometimes I'm not really big on touching.
Okay.
And if I come into a room and there's like 20 people, I might not want to hug and kiss everyone. And my younger sister always calls me out. She's like, you're being rude.
No.
Because I'll just wave like, hey. And people, Latinos, they love to like embrace. They love to hug, kiss, bring it in. And some people like kiss like with the mouth on the face.
Oh, and you get their slobber, dude.
And it's just disgusting. And
or
I don't...
their aftershave, because,
And I don't want
they're
it.
using that aftershave like crazy.
You understand the layers? Like I put oil, primer, 2 foundations,
setting...
everything, and
setting
now
mist, yeah.
there's slob on top of this. I spend my whole life savings at Sephora.
She is serious about it.
Sometimes I'm like, hey, like I'll do one big wave to the room. Hello. My sister's like, that was so rude and you're being so nasty. I'm
Which
like,
one, Bella?
Yeah.
That's my girl.
She
but
always
still.
calls me out on that when I don't want to be like, I guess, what do you call this? Like affectionate?
Well, no, it isn't. It's your personal space. So let me take you somewhere though. And not to get too serious. There's actually been research now that says that that's okay. So as children are growing up, when we were younger, they used to say like, vaya darle un beso a tu tío, Junior or whoever. You should never force children to be affectionate. And the reason why is because it teaches them that there's no boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's the problem as they grow up later on in life. So if you've been teaching a child from the time that they were little, well, it doesn't matter what you feel.
Yeah.
Go and do it anyway. When they feel something, they're going to go and do it anyway because that's what they've been taught. So this is like a lot of research. So now with my children, I always say, before I would get embarrassed, and then I started reading about like, child psychology and things like that because I have 2 boys. Mm-hmm. And I think that the climate now for boys, you have to be so careful. I want to raise little gentlemen.
Yeah.
And so in reading this, it says that you basically don't force them to hug, kiss, or do anything until they're ready for it. So I'll say, oh, you know what? He's a little shy, but right now he'll warm up to you in a bit.
And that's amazing.
And they let it go.
Yeah.
That way they don't look at you as like a parent who's not teaching their children the right way. And then you also don't put your child on the spot. I will never force my kids to go and give a hug or a kiss anymore. But it was only until I learned that. And so
we didn't know that before. It was just hug and kiss every single person in the room, whether you know them or not.
Or sit on someone's lap, dude. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. Like, I was born late 70s. And so it was like having to go. I remember, and not that anything bad ever happened to me, but it was just like, it just made me feel uncomfortable to like just meet a person and then have to go and sit on their lap.
Or carry you. It's like, why are you
Yes.
carrying me? I'm a girl. I have a dress on. I'm 5. Put me down.
So normally I would be Team Bella on this one,
Yeah.
but I'm Team Honey German because I think it is right,
And
when
I
you
love
warm up.
everybody. I love everybody, but it's just like I just walked in and I'm just like,
It's not rude.
I probably drove 2 hours and
Yeah, just give me a minute. Let me have a glass of wine. Let me warm up. Let me just kind of like, scope the scene.
Exactly. So that's my rude characteristic, I guess, when I go to people's house sometimes.
Yeah.
I tend to be kind of like a little reserved, and I'll fall back. And sometimes it comes off like, oh, she's being rude. Oh, she thinks she's all that. She don't want to say hi to everybody. I don't know everybody.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that I do, not the only thing, I'm sure there are many things that I do that some people might take as being rude. I really do try to not be rude.
Imagine our friends and family send us in
they'd
an
be like,
email.
she does this.
And this is the list of what you two do every single time.
Well, I saw this meme that was so perfect because it really is true. I wish there was a Shazam for names.
Oh my
You
God.
tell me your name, I will immediately forget it. And it's not that you're not important to me. It's not that I don't want to remember. It's just like, I don't know where it goes.
Some people are like that, though.
I just can't.
I don't know where it goes.
And I've tried to think of like all of those things. Like I'll meet Jane. Okay, Jumpy Jane. Like, or I try to associate
Not
like
Jumpy
word
Jane.
is that like no.
She was
because
nervous?
They say like yeah, if you meet Jane, like Jane, she was like a little bit. She had a little bit of a like nervous thing about her. So it's like okay, Jumpy Jane. And then I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, damn it, was it Jumpy Jackie? No, I'm so bad at names, and people perceive that as me being rude or flighty, and it's not. It's just something that I haven't like really mastered.
I feel like that's one thing, like when you don't remember people's name and you work in certain areas, people just like, she doesn't care enough to remember people's names.
It's not about you.
Because I hear it all the time. I'm like, not for me, because I'm kind of like good with that. If I don't remember, you know what's weird?
I'm horrible, honey.
Yeah, I try my best. It's just, you know, people in work clothes all look the same to me.
All of them.
Suits and stuff.
Every last one.
I don't know why. It's the weird thing. Like if you wear regular clothes, it's different for me.
Yeah.
But when I meet like a group of executives or a bunch of people, it's like I don't remember no one. I don't know
They're
what
all
just
John.
happened. Everybody's
Every
just
last
one
of
person.
them. Their names are John.
But
John. Oh, John. Hey, what? John? No.
Who's that?
Yeah,
from
that's
this
right.
one, from accounting.
Yep.
You know what I do?
Paul.
I go on everybody's LinkedIn and Facebook. Oh, let me Google. Let me see who this was. When they email me, let me see this face. I remember that
I'm so bad.
He
I'm
was
so
weird.
Bad. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, they could see me. I'm all in their LinkedIn. Who cares?
They like took me off of the company potluck for that reason. I think.
Why? What you did?
Because
You
I
stalked
don't
somebody?
remember anybody. I'm like, wait, I forget who it was that even sent the email. I swear. They were like, don't we have that thing, the potluck? I asked Cubby. Cubby said to me, he goes,
Yeah, we
are you
do.
going to this potluck thing for the company? And I was like, I didn't get the email. He goes, they probably took you off, because I swear the girl who organizes it, I get it wrong every single time.
I just pull up. It's like, oh, what's happening? And I
Yeah.
go in there. They're like, you have your plate you cooked? No, but can I look anyway?
I just want to peek.
I
just
do.
want to take a little peek.
I don't even eat anything. I'm just like a nosy person. But
Ugh.
let's get to this email. We
Okay.
actually got a letter from Nina.
Okay.
If you guys have any emails or any questions that you want to send us over to us, lifeinspanglishpodcast@gmail.com, you can send that. And here's her letter. She says, Honey and Carolina, loving the podcast and how honest you two are. Now I need some of that for my life. 2 months ago, I ended things with my boyfriend of just 6 months. I felt like it came out of nowhere, but he blamed it on my attitude. We would fight constantly, and he even suggested therapy. To be honest, I found it insulting in the moment. I got heated, and it ultimately led to the breakup. Once all was said and done, I did take a step back and tried to think about what he was saying. I realized that I would argue with my friends constantly over the pettiest BS, and I was just a bad person overall. Should I reach out to him and let him know how I changed because of him, or should I just move on?
I feel like this is a positive.
It is a positive, and she did grow very rapidly, because it takes me decades to even admit that I was the one that ruined a relationship.
Or change like one thing, you know? It's tough. It's tough to change. And it's hard, especially when you're called out, because you immediately go into like defensive mode.
Definitely.
That is not me. You don't know me. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly.
You knew me 6 months.
Exactly.
But would you reach out to an ex? Let's not make it about me and you. Should she reach out to her ex and let him know that she's changed because of him, or should she just leave it alone and move on?
You know what? I haven't. I'm a big believer in like the past is the past. I don't necessarily like cut off people after we're done, because I don't, like, I mean, if I see you, I wish you well. Like I don't, but to open up that can of worms again, I'm not sure, if she should exactly like take it and move on and learn from it, which she did. It sounds like she did.
Yeah.
But I do have a different scenario. But go ahead. I want to hear your opinion.
It's kind of hard. Like once a relationship is ruined and the person sees you as like a bad person who has like a nasty attitude and fights all the time. This guy even suggested therapy. So that means it was bad.
It sounded like pretty bitter. Yeah.
So I think it's just like, I'm a strong believer that once people's mind is made up about who you are, how you move, the way you are, it's really hard to convince them otherwise. Not that it's impossible. So this was a short baby relationship, Nina, just 6 months. So I think you should just move on and kind of like learn from your mistakes.
I agree. And I also think that it's one of those things where it's like, what are you going to get out of it? You're not going to change this person's opinion of you. You know, they may think like for a second, oh, that's nice. But then they'll go back to like, man, but she was a crazy bitch. You know what I mean? So it's like, not that you're crazy, Nina, but, you know, we've all been called that.
Maybe she can give him an apology. Maybe she could be like, you know what? My bad. Like, I was real nasty and real crazy, but it had nothing to do with you. It had all to do with me arguing with my friends and constantly being in a bad mood.
I've done that.
You
I've
have?
actually, yeah, I went back, and this is someone who I actually had a business relationship with, and we had a very, very tumultuous relationship. Like
throughout or at the end?
Throughout the entire time, and so you know, I actually went back and told this person, I said, look, you know, I have to apologize because I was in a very different space when we had to interact with one another, but now my life is different. I see things from a different perspective, and I was really hard on you. And I just want to apologize, and I want to let you know that I recognize that about myself. And this person accepted and was so gracious, and it made me feel better. And now when we see each other, it's like, it's cool. You know, like we'll never be like best friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, because it's just that we never had that relationship to begin with.
But at least you lifted that bad energy that was, you know, overcasting that relationship per se.
But it's the truth, though. And I think that it was just as important, I think, for this person as it was for me, because I did have those feelings of like, wow, I was really shitty at times to that person. You know what I mean? And so
I've been there.
Yeah,
where it's like I'm antagonizing in a way.
But then you get to a different space as
you
an
do.
adult.
And you know, different people bring different sides out of you. Sometimes
so
when I'm
true.
hanging out with some people, I tend to be like a pain in the ass, even to like our mutual friends.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there was a three-way dynamic between like me, my sister, and a friend. And it was just like me and my friend would always like joke a lot on my sister until the moment she sat down and she was like, listen, this bothers me.
It's not funny anymore.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
It hurts me. It's rude. And she just like, and I remember we were in Cuba and we were having dinner, and it dawned on me like, and you know, I've never done it again. It's been 2 years, and my sister told me like, you guys think you guys are being funny? You're not funny. You're hurtful. And
I'm
it's
glad
like
she did that.
She did, and that's why sometimes you got to put it all out there. People got to call you out, or you got to call people out, and then we moved on from it. And it never happened again. And it was all in good fun. It was just like jokes and stuff, but it bothered her. And
But
having
she
the
needed-
conversation fixed it.
She needed to be grown to change the dynamic, you know, because she could have just kept on feeling a certain type of way, and then you guys would have kept, and then something would have happened. But
Yeah.
that was really big of her. I think for me, it was more that I was resentful that there were certain things that were happening at this time in my career that I just felt like, damn, like why don't I always have to do all of this stuff? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so looking back on it, now I see how difficult it must have been for this person, you know,
To deal with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
So-
big of you, though. Because a lot of people tend to be like, oh, I'm amazing at all times.
No, not at all. I mean, I feel like I have just constantly like, you know,
Evolved.
Absolutely. And not always in great ways, you know, so you got to check yourself. But Nina, I think what you should do is just appreciate and kind of give a shout out, like just, you know, to this guy and say like, thank you for making me a better person. And you move on with your life and you make the next relationship better.
Unless he's your soulmate, then go back.
No, don't start that, honey.
Come on,
Don't-
Carolina.
no,
what if
now
that's
you're
supposed to be her
confusing her.
husband?
Now
Okay,
you're confusing
my
her.
bad. Just move
Let
on,
it
Nina.
go.
Just
Let
leave it
go.
alone.
If
Leave it
it's
alone.
what is the thing? If it's good, it will return back to you. What movie is
Oh
that from?
God!
What movie is that?
Free it and it'll come back to you.
Yes.
I haven't heard someone say that in a very long time.
It's so true. It's such a movie line.
It is a movie line.
We'll figure it out.
Google
next
it,
week.
Nina.
Yeah. Well, until next time, we want you to hit us up on social media. You can always email us lifeinspanglishpodcast@gmail.com.
And all our social media is Li Spanglish on Twitter, on Instagram, and we have Life in Spanglish on Facebook. So make sure you like that
Yeah, give us a like.
and share it with your friends.
Have you ever seen the meme of Obama? Fuck it, have a like. Go ahead, give us a like.
We're out of here.